Hey, English learners, you're listening to Real English Flow, the podcast where every conversation gives you the courage to open your mouth and actually speak.
Jake, okay, I have to say something before we start today.
Yeah? What happened?
So, this morning, I was at the coffee shop near my house, and there was this tourist, a young woman, trying to order something. She kept pointing at the menu and looking so nervous, and the person behind the counter didn't understand her,
Oh, no. We've all been there.
right? And I could see it in her face. She knew the words, she knew what she wanted to say, but she just froze. She couldn't speak.
She froze. That is the perfect word for today's episode.
It really is, because today we're talking about something that changes everything. We're talking about the moment you stop being afraid and you actually start speaking English for real.
This one is personal for me, and I think it's going to hit home for a lot of people listening right now.
And hey, if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss an episode. We are so happy you're here today.
Let's go.
Okay, so let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this.
Go ahead.
Have you ever known the answer to something, but you didn't say it? Maybe in a class, or at work, or with someone you wanted to impress? You knew it, but you stayed quiet.
Oh, I have definitely done that.
We all have. And here's the thing, that silence, that moment where you know but you don't speak, that costs you more than you think.
That's the whole episode right there.
Today, Lily and Jake are going to talk about why speaking English feels so scary, what really happens when you push through that fear, and the exact moment, the real, specific moment when everything changes.
And I'm going to tell you a story from my own life that still gives me chills when I think about it.
By the end of this episode, you're going to feel something shift, something real, and you're going to want to go speak English today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today.
That's a promise.
So let's start with the truth. Why is speaking English so hard? Like, really hard, even for people who study for years.
Okay, I have a visual for this because I always need a picture to understand things.
I love your pictures. Go.
Imagine you're a swimmer. You've been taking swimming lessons for 2 years. You know all the techniques. You know how to move your arms, how to breathe, how to kick. You've read about it, you've watched videos, you've practiced the movements on dry land.
Okay, I'm picturing this.
But you've never actually been in the water.
Oh, wow.
That's what it feels like to study English without speaking. You have all the knowledge, but knowledge on dry land doesn't make you a swimmer.
The water is the real conversation.
Exactly. The water is the real conversation. And the moment you jump in, everything feels different. The water is cold, it's real, and nothing from dry land fully prepares you for it.
And I think that's why so many people feel like they're failing. They're not failing, they've just never been in the water.
They've been training for a race they've never run.
So here's the question, right? Why don't people jump in?
Fear. Simple as that.
But what kind of fear? Because I think it's worth being specific here.
Okay, what kinds of fear do you think it is?
I think it's the fear of making mistakes, the fear of sounding stupid, the fear of not being understood, and maybe the biggest one, the fear that people will judge you.
Yes. And here's what I want to say about that. Those fears are real. I'm not going to tell you they're not real. They're very real.
Right, we're not going to say just don't be scared. That doesn't help anyone.
But here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what happens on the other side of that fear.
I want to talk about something that nobody talks about, the cost of silence.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so we talk a lot about the risk of speaking. What if I make a mistake? What if they laugh? What if I say it wrong? But nobody talks about the risk of not speaking.
That's a good point.
Think about this. Every time you stay quiet, every time you know something and don't say it, every time you don't start that conversation, every time you wait until your English is perfect, you lose something.
What do you lose?
You lose a connection. You lose an opportunity. You lose a version of yourself that could have existed in that moment.
That last one really gets me.
And here's my visual for this. Imagine your confidence is like a plant. Every time you speak, even badly, even imperfectly, you water it. Even a little water helps it grow.
And if you don't water it?
It doesn't just stay the same, it starts to die slowly. And the longer you wait, the harder it is to revive it.
So, silence isn't safe. It feels safe, but it's actually costing you every single day.
That's exactly it. Silence feels like protection, but it's actually a slow loss.
You know what word I love here? The word safe. Because people say, I'll speak when I feel safe. But that safety never comes on its own.
Never. The safety comes from speaking, not from waiting.
Say that again, Lily.
The safety comes from speaking, not from waiting.
I want every person listening to write that down. The safety comes from speaking, not from waiting. Okay, story time. And this one is mine.
I've been waiting for this.
So, about 5 years ago, I was in a completely new city, new job. I knew the language, English, but I had barely used it in real life with real people. I was mostly self-taught.
And how did that feel?
Like I had built this beautiful car, but never driven it on a real road. I'd practiced in my driveway for years, but my driveway was not the highway.
Oh, I love that.
And there was this moment. I remember it so clearly. My first big meeting at work. And my boss asked me a direct question in front of everyone.
What happened?
My heart was going crazy. I could feel my face getting red. And I had two choices. Stay quiet and say, I don't know, or try. Just try. Say something, even broken, even imperfect.
What did you do?
I spoke. My sentence wasn't perfect. I used the wrong word in one place. I said, I think we can make this work if we look at it different. Not differently, different. A small grammar mistake.
But you spoke.
I spoke, and you know what happened? My boss nodded. He said, good point, Jake, and moved on. Nobody cared about the grammar. They cared about the idea.
That moment, that was your turning point.
That was it. That was the moment I understood something I will never forget. People are not listening for perfect grammar. They're listening for your meaning.
People listen for meaning, not perfection.
And after that meeting, something changed in me. Something real. Like a switch turned on.
A switch that had always been there, it just needed the right moment.
It needed courage. One moment of courage. That's all it took.
Okay, so Jake's story gives me chills, honestly. But let's talk about why that one moment matters so much. Because I think some people are listening right now and thinking, okay, but that was just lucky. What if it goes badly?
Great question.
What if you try and the person doesn't understand you? What if you make a mistake and someone laughs? Does that mean the moment failed?
No, and here's why. Here's another visual, and this one is important.
Bro.
Imagine your comfort zone is a circle. Your whole life, everything safe and familiar is inside that circle. And everything that scares you, speaking a new language, taking a new risk, starting something new, is outside the circle.
Okay, I'm with you.
The first time you step outside that circle, it's terrifying. Your whole body fights you. But here's the thing. The moment you step out and come back,
The circle gets bigger.
the circle gets bigger automatically. You didn't have to try to grow. You grew just by doing it once, even if it was messy, even if it was imperfect.
So even a bad speaking experience makes your circle bigger.
Even a bad one, because your brain now knows, I survived that. And surviving something changes everything.
That phrase, I want to come back to that. I survived that. Because that's such a powerful thing to say to yourself after a hard moment.
It's not about being perfect. It's about surviving and showing up again.
And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. They think the goal is to speak perfectly the first time, but the real goal is just to speak, and then speak again, and then again.
Repetition. That's where fluency lives.
Repetition is where fluency lives, not in one perfect moment, in 1,000 imperfect ones. Okay, we've talked about the fear, we've talked about the cost of silence, we've heard Jake's story. Now, what do you actually do?
Real talk time.
Real talk. If someone is listening to this right now and they feel that fear, what are the first steps? What actually works?
Okay, first thing, and I mean this, find one person and speak English to them today. Not tomorrow, today. It doesn't have to be a long conversation. It can be one sentence, one question, one comment.
One sentence is enough to start.
Think of it like this. Have you ever had a jar that's been closed for a really long time? And when you try to open it, it's so hard?
Oh, yes, all the time.
But the moment it cracks open, just a little, the rest is easy. Speaking English is like that jar. The hardest part is the first crack. After that, it gets easier every time.
The first crack. I love that.
So your job today is not to have a perfect conversation. Your job today is just to make the first crack.
And here's something I want to add. When you're practicing, stop waiting for the right moment. Because here's what I've noticed. The right moment never feels right. It always feels a little uncomfortable.
Always.
The right moment is the uncomfortable moment. That's how you know it's real.
That is so true. If it feels too comfortable, you're not growing.
And another thing, talk to yourself. I know that sounds funny, but when you're alone in your car, in the shower, walking somewhere, describe what you see in English. Think out loud in English.
Your brain is like a muscle, and speaking English is a workout. If you only go to the gym once a month, you don't get strong. But 5 minutes every day, that changes your body.
5 minutes every day beats 1 hour once a week.
Every single time. Consistency beats intensity.
I want to talk about something that I think is the deepest change, the mindset shift.
Tell me.
There's a difference between being an English student and being an English speaker, and most people spend years as students without ever becoming speakers.
What's the difference?
A student thinks, I need to know more before I can speak. A speaker thinks, I'll learn more by speaking.
Oh, that's big.
A student waits for permission. A speaker gives themselves permission.
Wow. Say that again.
A student waits for permission. A speaker gives themselves permission.
And where does the permission come from?
From you, only you. Nobody is going to come to you one day and say, congratulations, you're ready to speak English now. That moment doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. You decide when you're ready. And honestly, the best time to decide is before you feel ready.
Yes, because here's the truth about readiness. You will never feel 100% ready. Not for English, not for a new job, not for any important thing in your life. Readiness is a feeling you build while doing the thing, not before it.
You build readiness by doing, not by waiting.
And I think this is the heart of today's episode. The moment everything changes is not the moment you become fluent. It's not the moment you stop making mistakes. It's the moment you decide that your voice matters right now, as you are, imperfect and learning and real.
Your voice matters right now, not the future perfect version of you. You, right now.
That is the turning point, that decision, that shift.
And I want to say one more thing. Every person who speaks English fluently today, they were once exactly where you are. Scared, imperfect, unsure, and they made a decision.
They made a decision and they didn't look back. You can make that decision right now, while you're listening to this.
Okay, let's go back to some great words and phrases we used today, because there were so many good ones.
I love this part. Let's do it.
First one, to freeze. We said that woman at the coffee shop froze. To freeze means to stop moving or stop speaking because you're scared or shocked. When the teacher asked me a question, I froze. You can use this anytime you feel suddenly unable to act.
Great one. Next, to hit home. Jake said the episode would hit home for a lot of people. When something hits home, it means it touches you deeply because it feels true or personal. That story really hit home for me.
Love it. Next, comfort zone. Your comfort zone is the space where everything feels safe and familiar. We said your comfort zone is like a circle, and every brave action makes that circle bigger. Speaking to strangers is outside my comfort zone, but I'm working on it.
Perfect. Next one, consistency beats intensity. This means doing something a little bit every day is better than doing it a lot one time. I practice English for 10 minutes every day because consistency beats intensity.
And this is a phrase you can use for exercise, for studying, for any habit you want to build.
Next, give yourself permission. This means you decide for yourself that you are allowed to do something. You don't wait for someone else to say it's okay. I gave myself permission to make mistakes and just speak.
And last one, to make the first crack. This comes from the jar idea. To make the first crack means to take the first small step that opens something up. I made the first crack by sending one message in English.
So your challenge for today, and we mean today, not tomorrow, is this. Find one moment to use English. One sentence, one question, one comment. In real life, online, to yourself in the mirror, just one moment. Make the first crack.
And tell us about it in the comments. Seriously, we want to hear about it.
Okay, we are almost at the end. But before we go,
The turning point doesn't happen when you're ready. It happens when you decide.
and you can make that decision right now.
So, here's our question for the comments today. What is one moment when you were scared to speak English, but you did it anyway? Tell us, because your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear.
We read every single comment. Every one.
If this episode meant something to you, share it. Send it to a friend who's learning English, because everyone deserves to have their turning point.
Subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so you're always first for a new episode.
Next week, we're talking about something big. How to think in English, not just translate. How to get your brain out of your first language and into English automatically. It's going to change how you practice.
You don't want to miss that one.
Until next time, be brave, be imperfect, and speak.
We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye, everyone.